All right, folks, before we dive deep into this one, do me a solid. Hit that subscribe button. This piece turned into a monster, and I poured a ton of time and passion into it. Your subscription is the ultimate high five for that effort. Now, fair warning, I've got some riddles and questions for you throughout this. You got to drop your thoughts, theories, and personal stories in the comments. It's super important to me. So, grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's get into the world of a simple, yet brilliant and deadly soldier's hack. The riddle wrapped in tape. The longer I'm around, the more I believe in one simple truth. The most brilliant ideas are rarely complicated. They're born where life meets a deadly need, where there are no engineers with diplomas or sterile labs. They're born in the mud, the dust, under the whistle of bullets and the blast of shells. And one of those things is two standard rifle magazines locked together with good old-fashioned duct tape. This image, the magazine coupler, as it's formally known, is a true artifact of military culture. It's like a scar that tells a whole story without saying a word. But here's the paradox that keeps me up at night and brings me back to this topic again and again. In one scenario, this janky-looking setup can save your life, giving you those precious seconds a buddy of yours didn't get. In another, that very same coupler can get you killed, all because of a misfeed or a jammed round. Or, if you're real lucky, it'll just earn you a serious chewing out from your top sergeant, after which you'll be on latrine duty for a month. And that leads us to the million-dollar question, as fundamental as war itself. What's the move? Couple your mags or not? When is it justified and when is it just plain suicide? This isn't just a technical question, folks. It's a question of survival philosophy, tactical smarts, and that fine line every soldier has to draw for themselves. That's what we're going to explore today. We're not just going to break this phenomenon down. We're going to dissect it from every angle. Historical, technical, economic, and most importantly, the human one. Echoes of wars past. The tapes trail through history. Let's start at the beginning. A lot of people think the mag coupler is a new age invention. Not even close. That's a deep misconception. The practice of coupling magazines goes back to the thick jungles of Vietnam, where American grunts, armed with their M16s, faced that same question of reload speed in close-quarters combat. They used special clips or that same duct tape their wives and girlfriends sent in care packages from the heart of America. But if we're talking about our own, more recent history, the first official sightings came from photos out of Afghanistan. A hot, dusty hell, as the vets called it. Mountain trails, sudden ambushes by the Mujahideen, short, furious firefights. That's where seconds spent reloading could cost you your life. And in those photos, faded by time and sun, we see our guys, and on their M16S and later M4S, those same two mags, taped together with that classic gray tape. Then came Iraq. Two brutal campaigns, urban combat where engagement distances shrank to just a few meters. Fallujah became a giant meat grinder where close-quarters battle ruled. And here, the mag coupler had its true renaissance. It became more than just a tool. It became a symbol, a sign of I've been there and I know how to survive. Photos from clearing operations, from the hallways of bombed-out buildings. This simple, yet powerful image was everywhere. So, here's your first question for the comments. People, why do you think it was in Afghanistan and Iraq that this practice became truly widespread? What was common about the combat conditions there? Write your theories below. I'll personally respond to the most interesting ones. Cold, hard logic, and seconds to live. Let's step away from history for a second and engage some pure logic. Why is this even necessary? The answer is obvious, but its implications are terrifying. Picture this. You're in a firefight, not on a training range, not at the local gun range, but in that place where bullets are whizzing by and grenades are going off. Your adrenaline is through the roof. Your heart is pounding like a drum. Your fingers are shaking. You fired 30 rounds, one burst, 2, 3. The magazine is empty. Your rifle goes quiet, but the enemy doesn't. In a standard situation, you need to unclip your mag pouch, grab a fresh magazine, drop the empty one, insert the fresh one, rack the charging handle. That takes, at best, 3 to 4 seconds. Now tell me, what is a tenth of a second worth in a firefight? It's an eternity. It's the chasm between life and death. Now, the scenario with the coupler. You've fired 30 rounds. The magazine is empty. With one hand, almost without looking, you feel for the second mag in the pair. You rip it out, flip the whole setup, and seat it in the mag well. It takes maybe 1 to 2 seconds. You've saved that crucial second and a half that might be just enough to keep the enemy from drawing a bead on you. This isn't theory. This is the ironclad, hard-won logic of survival. A magazine on a weapon is always faster than a magazine in a pouch. Always. That's an axiom. It doesn't need proof. The dark side of tape. Why a coupler can kill you. But, like anything in life, the mag coupler has a dark side. And it's just as lethal. Let's break down why this seemingly genius idea could get you that chewing out and why many professionals are deeply skeptical of it. The number one enemy, dirt. The M16/M4 platform can be a finicky mistress. Its reliability is legendary, but it has limits. By design, the magazine feed lips and the chamber are vulnerable points. When you tape a second magazine bullets down, you create a perfect trap for everything in the environment. Sand, dust, dirt, water. Those feed lips are open and eagerly collect all the grime around them. Imagine you take a knee in the mud or do a low crawl. Some of that crap is going to get into that upside-down magazine. Then, at the critical moment, when you flip it and insert it into your rifle, you're feeding a nice dose of abrasive grit right into the action along with the cartridge. The result is predictable and sad. A failure to feed, a jammed round, a malfunction. And you're left holding a useless piece of metal. For few critical seconds, you are unarmed. The second enemy, balance. Your rifle was designed for one 30-round magazine. That's a carefully calibrated balance. When you add a second, full magazine, you radically shift the weapon's center of gravity. It gets heavier and it starts pulling to one side. At close range, in a city, firing from the hip, this might not be a big deal. But try making a precision shot at 200 or 300 yards. You'll be constantly fighting the weight, correcting for the cant. Your accuracy plummets. For a soldier operating in the open, in the field, this is completely unacceptable. The third enemy, ergonomics. Couple magazines are bulky. They're awkward to use in a vehicle, in narrow corridors, moving through a forest. They snag on everything, and they can give away your position with a distinctive rattle. It's a constant source of hassle on the march. And here's something curious. The legendary Eugene Stoner, the mind behind the AR-15 platform, and the engineers who refined it, were undoubtedly aware of these issues. The quest for reliability in adverse conditions was paramount. While you won't find quotes from Stoner himself on duct tape, the entire design philosophy of the modern military rifle emphasizes keeping contaminants out of the action, something a tape mag works directly against. And now for the riddle I promised. Pay attention. Question: why are modern plastic couplers, which hold both magazines' bullets up, considered a much better solution than the classic tape job, where one magazine is flipped? I'm waiting for your answers in the comments. I bet there are some real experts among my viewers who can crack this nut. The evolution of the coupler. From tape to high-tech and the economics of survival. Time doesn't stand still. Progress touches everything, even seemingly conservative fields like military science. And if in the 90s and 2000s, duct tape was king, today it has some serious competition. Plastic couplers. This isn't a backyard project anymore. These are serial-produced items made from tough, impact-resistant polymer. They securely hold two magazines side by side, bullets up. This solves the number one problem, contamination. These systems are now mass-produced both here in the States and overseas. They become a part of tactical gear culture. Companies like Magpul revolutionized this space. High-capacity magazines. And why couple two mags when you can just have one big one? That thought occurred to weapons designers a long time ago. The most famous example is the Beta C Mag, a drum magazine that holds 100 rounds. It fits the M4/AR-15 and gives a huge amount of firepower without any need for coupling. But that's not the only option. The modern market offers real monsters. For example, the 60-round quad stack magazines. They often have a shape that kind of looks like those old couple mags, but are a single unit. Using them is its own tactical choice. On one hand, you have a huge amount of ammo without a reload. On the other, all the same balance and bulk issues, just amplified. Economic breakdown and market analysis. Let's take a quick detour from tactics and look at this from an economic angle. What's driving the market for these gadgets? Demand creates supply. The experience of recent local conflicts over the past 20 years, from Middle East to various hotspots around the globe, has shown a sharp need for solutions that speed up reloading. This demand comes from the ground up, from the warfighters themselves, and the market reacted instantly. Price range. It's massive. The cheapest solution, duct tape. It costs pennies. It's available to absolutely everyone, but its reliability is near zero. It's a solution of desperation. Plastic couplers. Their cost in the US varies from a few bucks to $30 or $40 for high-end models. This is now a serial product with a quality guarantee. It's bought by military, law enforcement, and civilian enthusiasts. 60-round mags. This is the most expensive option. The price for quality specimens can run from $80 to over $100. Their manufacturing is more complex, requiring high-quality plastic molding or metal stamping and precise springs. Manufacturers. There's fierce competition in the market. You have established giants producing weapons and accessories like Magpul, Lancer, or Heckler & Koch, and a ton of smaller companies, even custom shops, that offer their own solutions. This competition drives progress. More convenient, lighter, and more reliable models keep appearing. The psychological factor. For many warfighters, buying an accessory like this isn't just spending money. It's an investment in their own safety. It's psychological comfort. You're paying cash for those saved seconds, for confidence in your weapon. And that comfort has a very high price tag. So, a simple soldier's ingenuity spawned a whole industry. It's evolved from a trench-born art form into part of a multi-million-dollar business. My take and the final verdict. To couple or not to couple. So where's the truth? After all these historical deep dives, technical breakdowns, and economic charts, what can I say as someone who's dug deep into this? My verdict is as nuanced as life itself. The mag coupler is a tactical solution for specific conditions. It is not a universal answer. Do it, and I mean with modern plastic couplers, not taped. If you're preparing for a room clearance, building assault, or close quarters battle in an urban environment, where speed is more important than precision, where engagement distance is measured in feet, not yards. That's where this tool will show its full potential. Don't do IT. It's a hard no. If your mission is operations in open terrain, long patrols, or defense at longer ranges, here, accuracy, reliability, and weapon handling are paramount. Here, the coupler turns from a friend into a foe. The practice of taping magazines with duct tape is slowly fading away. And that's a good thing, because better, more reliable, and safer alternatives have emerged. Because modern gear has gotten better, more thoughtful, more ergonomic, allowing you to access mags with lightning speed. Because they invented those high-capacity magazines. But the taped coupler will forever remain in history as a symbol of soldierly smarts, a desperate cry, and a brilliant find from a person who wants to get home alive at any cost. It's part of the military DNA, part of that experience paid for in blood. So yes, you can use it, but only smartly, only understanding all the risks, only at the right time and in the right place, and only with modern, reliable gear, not the old-school duct tape that might fail you at the worst possible moment. Well, that wraps up our massive deep dive. I hope it was interesting and useful for you all. I'm waiting for your feedback like never before. Please write in the comments. Have you ever personally used mag couplers? Do you have any hands-on experience? What do you think is the future of this tech? Will it disappear or just keep evolving? Did anyone guess the answer to my riddle about the plastic couplers? Your comments, likes, and shares are the fuel that runs this channel. Subscribe, hit that like button, and share this video with your buddies. Your engagement helps the channel grow and lets me know I'm doing something that matters. Thanks for sticking with me to the very end. I appreciate every single one of you.